Hey guys, and welcome to another TF2 video here on King of the Hill Harvest, playing as the Spy. But I'm not going to be talking about the gameplay. Today I want to be talking about these weapon ideas that I've had. I've just got a small list of weapons which I think would be really cool to have in the game. Starting off here is a new bow for the sniper. I'd just like to say quickly that all of these are probably never going to be in the game. These are just ideas that I thought were cool and I'd like to see in the game. So anyway, starting off with a bow. A new bow which has a slower draw rate but a faster arrow in the air. So it takes longer to draw back the bow, but the arrow travels much faster through the air. I think that'd be really cool, but also it doesn't do as much damage for body shots. It still does the same amount of damage for headshots, it's just it does less damage if you hit someone in the body area. Or maybe it could be the opposite to that, so it's got a faster, slower draw rate, but the arrows, no, a faster draw rate, but the arrows are slower, and it still has the headshot thing. I really like the idea about doing less damage but doing the same amount of damage for headshots. I feel like it kind of needs that for the bow. It can't be like the Sydney Sleeper in a bow version, so it doesn't do headshot damage or it does less headshot damage. I don't think that would work very well at all. Okay, so moving on here, the next item I have written down is a new medigun. This is a medigun which not only does it heal teammates, but it kind of reverse heals enemies, so it damages them if you, in quotation marks, try and heal them. So the idea behind this is it would be slower for healing teammates and it would do the same speed to damage enemies. So say it might be 25% slower healing for teammates and it would be that speed to damage and take away the health of a enemy. So I was thinking around maybe 5 or 6 seconds to kill a fully healed scout with this item. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but this is kind of the idea I've had for it. And the idea behind the Uber was that it would have some sort of proximity around you, almost like the Hulong heater, how it puts out with the flames. Maybe it could do something like that in a larger area, and instead of flames, it, I don't know, maybe it puts out Girardi to soak enemies around you so they all take mini crits, or maybe it puts out something which makes it so everyone starts taking damage around you, apart from your team obviously. So this is a really like offensive in there trying to damage the enemy kind of medigun, and you're still gaining Uber if you're damaging enemies. Maybe you gain Uber faster from doing that. I don't know, these are just the ideas that I've had. Okay, so moving on here, the next item I have is a new submachine gun. I have no ideas about what I want for this. I just know that I want it, and I want it now. So if you've got any ideas for a new submachine gun, I'd like to hear it, because I'd love to have a new submachine gun for the sniper in TF2. Now, along the same lines, these are two things that I think would be really cool. I've actually had this once in Randomizer, and it was like the best experience in Randomizer I ever had. As you know, I tell a lie. The best experience I had in Randomizer was when I was a spy with the rocket jumper and the dead ringer. That was incredible. Anyway, with this is for the scout to have the nail gun again. In TF2 Classic and in TF2 Beta, the scout had a nail gun which worked similar to the syringe gun for the medic. I would really like to see that in TF2 again. I feel it's always been like, people have always wondered about it, and people have always questioned why did they remove it. I don't know why they removed it. I might look that up afterwards, do a bit more research. Should have done that beforehand. Anyway, I think that would be a really cool thing to see in the game again. Or maybe give the submachine gun or submachine gun variant to the scout, so he has that as well. I think that would be really cool. It gives scout a different kind of gameplay, a different kind of way he'd need to think about how he's going to shoot at people instead of just clicking on people. Now maybe he has to predict their movements, and you know, like the syringe gun, you got to predict where they're going to be, and I think that'd be really cool for the scout. So moving on once again, I think it'd be a really cool thing to have a new sapper in TF2. Now the idea behind the sapper is, I don't know exactly, I had this idea ages ago and I thought it was a really good idea, then I completely forgot what it was, And I remember talking about it before in videos, talking about the Sapper idea I had, but I could not remember what it was. I may have mentioned it in a video as well and remembered what it was, but I don't know which video and I can't be bothered looking for it anyway. So just a new Sapper, it damages buildings maybe slower, so it would be better for taking out mini sentries, because most engineers, when you put a mini sentry down and you put a Sapper on it, they just kind of ignore it, it destroys the mini sentry and then put up another one. So maybe something along that line. I mean, the red tape recorder already does that, but the thing with this one is that it just destroys it and doesn't like debuild it. And also it takes longer to take the Sapper off of the building, so it kind of makes the building die and can't be used for a while, and it takes a while for the engineer to remove it, and it's not doing as much damage as the normal Sapper. So maybe instead of it being gone in 1 or 2 hits, maybe it takes 3 or 4 or 5 hits of the wrench to destroy the Sapper. I think that'd be quite cool. Another idea, I think I remember seeing, I think that was in the Meet the Spy trailer, when the Spy kind of threw the Sapper along the ground and it slid under the sentry, and then that kind of stopped the sentry working. I think something like that, a throwable Sapper, so you could throw Sappers at buildings, and maybe they are the ones I just described, maybe they destroy buildings slower and they get removed quicker, so just one hit removes them. But they're throwable, so from a distance you can throw a Sapper at a building. I think that'd be kind of cool. A different mechanic again for the Spy to need to think about. It would help him destroy building from afar. Maybe this one has like a few second recharge rate, kind of like the Cleaver does. So that was my idea behind that. Okay, we're down to the last 2 ideas here. The second to last idea was for a new wrench. Me and Mer have talked about this, and a new wrench which has a faster firing rate, so the swing time is less, so you can smack the wrench more times in a second. Something like that I think would be cool. I'm not sure what the negatives would be. Maybe less health for the engineer, maybe it's putting out, maybe it costs more metal to build everything. I don't know. Still something like that I think would be really cool. And that's really all I have for that one. And the last item I have here is a shield for the heavy, or a primary for the heavy, which isn't a minigun. Like, give the heavy the sandwich in his primary slot, something like that. But I think a shield for the heavy, so he takes less damage and he can just be a full-on shotgun heavy. I think that'd be really cool. Not giving him like the charge that the Demo Man has with his shields, just a shield which so he's taking less damage. I think that'd be really cool for the heavy, just to make shotgun heavy more of a meta in the game, more of a thing you can actually do. I think that'd be really cool. So that's all the ideas I have at the moment. I'm sure I'll come up with lots more in the future. But if you have any ideas for new weapons, I'd love to hear it, so leave that in the comments. And that will do it. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Vile56, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.
What